you guys. Stand right there. So I can get a picture of you guys.
Stay right here. What, bud? What? That's where we're going. Here we go. We're going. You're going to go that way? Yeah. Are we going to go that way or are you going to go the other way?
That way.
You think so?
How's everyone doing this morning? My name is Cliff. I'm going to be your boat captain and tour guide as we go down this beautiful 2.5 mile stretch of the San Antonio River. I do have a few quick safety rules to go over before we get started. There is no standing, no smoking. Keep your arms, legs, hands and feet inside the wooden rails at all times. Now we do have 40 life jackets right into these panels. Up here by me, still in their wrappers, they've never been used, but if you do for any reason find yourself in the San Antonio River today, please don't panic, just stand on it and walk right out. It's only about 3 to 4 feet deep. Should be all right. Now that area we just left where you got your tickets, that's the Aztec Theater. It was opened in 1926, used to show silent movies. They just finished about a 3-year long run with a country and western show known as San Antonio Rose Live We have another live music venue on now. One of the last remaining Mayan theme theaters left in the United States. Now we're heading under Salinas Bridge, named after late Tejano singer Selena Quintanilla. She was photographed on this bridge, as well as Jennifer Lopez, who played her in the movie Selena. There's a partially filmed right up there. And the beige building over here on the right, that's the Mocara Hotel now. But it used to be the home of the L. Frank Cavalry. From 1901 to 1923, they outfitted Teddy Roosevelt and the Rough Riders, as well as Mexican revolutionary Francisco Pancho Villa. And right before World War I, and on the left is La Mansión del Rio, or Mansion on the River. Used to be the site of the St. Mary's School for Boys back in 1853. Then it was the St. Mary's Academy, then the St. Mary's Law School. In 1966, two former students from the law school purchased the building. They remodeled it, opened it up for Hemisphere in 1968. Still has some of the original artifacts from the boys' school in the lobby and in the lounge. We're going to head up into the Barrow Street Bridge. When we come out from under this bridge, we're going to show you a really cool optical illusion. When we come out from under the bridge, everyone take a look up and to the left, where it once stood, a 26-story, three-dimensional building. Will have been replaced by a 26-story, two-dimensional wall. So you might fall right down the top of you. Take a look up. And that's the Nick's Hospital right there. It was built in 1930. One of the country's first full-service, fully air-conditioned hospitals. And everything from ambulance service to daycare to indoor parking. Carol Burnett was born in that hospital. I don't recommend that. That's why I work the early shift. So I can come back here and throw things on both drivers. Now right in front of us is the Hyatt Regency that was built in 1981. And the Alamo is just on the other side of the Hyatt. Normally this is a great way to get there. As you come around the bend, take a look to the left, you see these glass doors with the headers that read Paseo del Alamo. That's the passageway to the Alamo. It's usually the quickest way to get there from the river level. They're doing some construction through there. I'm not sure if you can make it straight through to the other side, but the Alamo is just on the other side of the Hyatt. This street in front of us is Crockett Street. You're less than half a block away from the Alamo. I take Crockett from here. But an interesting side note about the Hyatt Regency, when it was being designed, it had to meet strict height requirements. It wasn't allowed to cast a shadow on the Alamo at sunset. This building coming up on the right, this is the Casino Club building. It was opened in 1927. It used to be a German social club. And it later became apartments. There was a famous author that lived there by the name of Alex Haynes. Lived in that building for just a little while. Now we're getting into my favorite part of the Riverwalk. This is River Square. This is where you're going to find the majority of the restaurants, all the tantalizing aromas. Now we also offer a dining book service. We can go to any one of these restaurants and set that up. You can get a breakfast boat, lunch, dinner. If you just want cocktails, you can get a cocktail cruise. Nice way to enjoy the Riverwalk. Now coming up on the left, up at street level, kind of through the trees there, you can make out an orange squiggly sculpture. Actually, the official color of that is enchilada red, but that is the Torch of Friendship. It was given to us in 2002 by an artist named Sebastian. It's supposed to symbolize our friendship between Mexico and Canada. Now, the Riverwalk first opened in 1941. It didn't look a whole lot like this. It was more of a city park, a place to take the family out and have a picnic. But the father and designer of the Riverwalk, Robert H.H. Hugman, he had a different vision for his design, so he put his office here in the building on the right. That's the Clifford Building. Hugman's name is written above the first floor. He put his office there to prove to everyone that a business could thrive on the Riverwalk, that he wasn't afraid of flooding. People thought he was crazy at first. It took a few years before other businesses started to follow suit. Celebrated their 78th anniversary last October. Now this part of the river that we've been on, this is all the natural flow of the river. It's a naturally occurring horseshoe bend in the San Antonio River. And we're going to be leaving the natural flow and enter into a man-made part. This is the bottom of the horseshoe. Give you an idea where we are. Now this part of the river that we're entering was built in the 1960s for Hemisphere. Now if you're not familiar with what Hemisphere was, it was kind of like the World's Fair. Came to San Antonio in 1968. We had 7 million people coming to town for Hemisphere over the course of 6 months. So they built this park so people could take river taxis from the natural flow of the river to get to the convention center, where we're headed right now. And people love the Riverwalk so much during Hemisphere, they kept coming back and bringing their families. Tourism really started to grow as a result of the Hemisphere of 1968. That kind of put us on the map. And now the San Antonio Riverwalk is the #1 tourist attraction in Texas. #2 is the Alamos. So we got a booth right here. If you ever want to move to San Antonio, if you live here already, want to open up a business, the Chamber of Commerce on the left. We have all kinds of information for you. Message brought to you by the Chamber of Commerce. Now, since this is a man-made part of the river, there's no natural flow to it. This part of the river is lined with concrete. The rest of the river has a mud bottom, but there are still a whole lot of critters that live here that don't realize that this is man-made. We have tilapia, perch, catfish, sunfish, crawfish, a lot of snakes in here. We've got turtles too. Turtles are nice. So they built this waterfall over here to the right. And this waterfall helps keep the water flowing, keeps it filtered and aerated, keeps all the little critters alive and well. And as to the right here, over the wall through the clearing, you'll see a tower. It looks like the Jetsons' house up there. That's the Tower of the Americas. That was the centerpiece of the Hemisphere of 1968. It's also the second tallest freestanding tower in the United States. Second only to the Stratosphere in Las Vegas. We're actually 16 feet taller than the Space Needle in Seattle. Stratosphere is 1,000 feet tall. Ours is 750 feet. Stratosphere has some sort of ride or roller coaster, bungee jump or something on theirs. We have a restaurant on ours that spins once every hour. Not quite as fast as a roller coaster. You get a pretty good view of the tower over here to the right. Now, you probably noticed these boats are pretty quiet. These are all brand new boats. As of 2017, we have an all-electric, eco-friendly fleet, 43 boats total. They all have to be plugged in at night and to charge all night long to last all day long. But we have 5 different colors, 5 different styles. I've got it confirmed by the park police. They say it is indeed a $500 fine for swimming in the San Antonio River, so don't do it for a lot of reasons. We're headed to the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center, named after the first Latino American to be elected to the House of Representatives. He did that back in 1961. They just added a few 100,000 square feet to the convention center. It's now well over 1 million square feet. One of the largest and most modern in the country. Companies and organizations love to have their conventions here. We actually have bookings well into the 2030s. Here on the left is the Lila Cockrell Theater, named after the first female mayor in San Antonio. She served 4 terms from the 1980s to the 1990s. There's also a large mosaic right above the theater. We're going to turn the boat around here when we come back out. I'll tell you all about that mosaic. Now we're going to spin around underneath this glass bridge. Normally we'd be allowed to go around that island in front of us, but not too long ago one of our drivers went crashing into one of the rails back there, leaving a pile of twisted metal underneath the water. Got a lot of new drivers on the river. But we are forbidden to go back there until that's cleared up. You're not missing much, just a quick turn around to the boats. But there's a walkway back there underneath the convention center. That'll take you to the tower, it'll take you to Hemisphere, H.B. Zachary. How he did it is about 8 miles south of here. He constructed every room, put the carpet on the floors, pictures on the walls, soaps in the dishes, towels on the racks, Bibles in the drawers. The beds were made. He loaded those rooms on flatbed trucks, drove them into town, hoisted them up by crane, stacked them one on top of another like Lego blocks. So we're about to come in front of the building here. It's going to be on the left. When we do, take a look past the first 4 floors. You'll see that every room after that is really close call. If you look up at each of those rooms up there to the left, you'll see that the walls, the floors, the ceilings, they're all solid concrete. They say that it's soundproof, fireproof, waterproof, explosion-proof. They really tested that last one. That is a very sturdy building, I can assure you. Now, to give you an idea just how impressive it was that they built this entire hotel in only 202 days, if you take a look. As we come around the bend, we'll be getting into the Arneson Theater. It's an open-air theater. Seats 800 people. It's named after Edwin E. Arneson. He was the chief engineer of the Works Project Administration that completed the Riverwalk back in 1941. If you're looking to get to the shops that might be each of the stairs over here on the left to get you there pretty quick. As we head through the theater, take a look to the right at the stage. You might recognize it from Miss Congeniality. We had Sandra Bullock up there dancing around in a bathing suit. Also, 5 bronze bells right above the stage. Each one of them represents one of the 5 Spanish missions in San Antonio. Now we're heading under Rosita's Bridge. Rosita Fernandez played on that stage for 26 years on the show Fiesta Noche del Rio, which is still in production today. They finished season number 67 last August. They'll be back again in June. They play every Friday and Saturday night during the summer. Over here to the right is the Briscoe Western Art Museum. A lot of different artwork showing the history of the West, as well as an interactive diorama, the Battle of the Alamo. Pancho Villa's saddle and Santa Anna's sword are on display in there. Now these big trees that you see lining the Riverwalk, these are cypress trees. We have 2 kinds of cypress tree on the river. We have bald cypress and Montezuma cypress. Most of them are about 200 to 300 years old. And we're going to be heading under the Presses Street Bridge coming up. This is a solid iron bridge built in the 1890s. It's called an iron ornamental bridge. There are 10 of these left in the United States. 3 are on the San Antonio River. Now this one sits pretty low, so we're going to steer right through the middle of it. You might think you're going to hit your head on it, but trust me, if you don't stand up, you'll be fine. I, on the other hand, am not fair as well. Right through the middle here. And just up ahead on the right, you'll see a small island with an iron sculpture on it. The sculpture is known as Father Mastonet's Table. That was a gift from artist Rolando Briceño in 1991. It's put there to commemorate the first Catholic Mass that took place in San Antonio on June 13th, 1691. If you take a close look at the island, you see it's completely comprised of that site.
That was that little tree man over here to the right.
See if you can see him, that little orange tree back there. It's the Texas Bushman. Jump out. I don't like to blow his cover, but it'll jump out and scare him. Anyway, I'm not sure if he wants me to tell people. Oh, maybe there's someone coming. System. So when it rains, the water comes out of the gargoyles' mouths into the gutters below. And if you look just above the trees over here to the left, you'll see these angry little scary faces kind of snarling down at you. Those are known as grotesques. Now, the whole building is an example of neo-Gothic architecture. The original owners, Smith & Young, were fairly superstitious. They put all these things in place to ward off evil spirits and bad business. The river right behind us. You gotta use your imagination just a little bit. Just imagine a little Leonardo DiCaprio hanging up the front of it. That helps. Now here on the right's the International Center. That was the San Antonio Main Public Library until 1998. Now it has the offices of the San Antonio Convention's sandstone and granite. One of the oldest and largest continuously operating courthouses in Texas. Now we're going to be leaving the natural flow of the river one more time. We're going to head on to another man-made part. The river flows to the left. We're headed to the right into the flood channel. The drawbridge keeps the water at the exact same level in the Horseshoe Bend at all times. There's never any flooding back there. The hotels, the mall, the restaurants, all completely safe from flooding. Now you see this bridge in front of us with all the locks on it. That's the Love Lock Bridge. When a couple gets married, they come out here and they have a little ceremony where they lock their love together forever and then throw the key into the river. There's a lot of combination locks up there. Now, it doesn't rain very often in San Antonio the same way this weekend you'll see. When it does rain, it can rain really hard, really fast, and flooding used to be a huge problem for downtown. In 1921, we had a flood that caused a lot of deaths, did a lot of property damage. So the Army Corps of Engineers came in here, built this flood channel for us. And that put an end to all our downtown flooding problem. Your part, which I'm not too unhappy about. Now, Hugman did design this walkway over here on the right. That's fairly new. It's been there about 18 years. That was a gift from the Drury Plaza Hotel. It's an 850-foot walkway that connects floodgates 3 and 4. It starts just about 6 miles north of here on the campus of Incarnate Word University. It comes up through springs from an underground lake known as the Edwards Aquifer. Flows through the zoo, through downtown, goes about 230 miles southeast of here where it meets up with the Guadalupe River and flows out to the Texas Gulf. And you see that big tree right in front of us. That's the oldest and largest cypress tree in San Antonio. It's over 350 years old, over 9 stories tall, also known as the sniper tree. Back in 1835, there was a Texas patriot by the name of Ben Milam. He was staying at the Barramundi Palace, which was right behind us, and he was shot by a sniper from that tree right there. And now we're going under floodgate 3. This one comes down like a guillotine. But don't worry, they will start the random testing till after 10 a.m. It takes about 15 minutes for that to come down completely. It does weigh 3 tons. Comes straight down. Coming up on the right is the Esquire Tavern. That was the first bar on the Riverwalk. They opened the doors in 1933. And they opened the day after Prohibition ended. They pretty much just took down the barbershop pole and it was business as usual. They say it was a speakeasy before that. Also has the longest wooden bar in Texas at 108 feet long. And here on the left is the Drury Inn and Suites. That used to be the City Public Service Building back in 1921. Give you an idea of the severity of that flood. If you look to the top of the first floor windows, right where the 3 shields are, that's how high the flood of 1921 reached. It was a major flood. It's a great example, though, of how we like to take an old building, give it a second chance, so that we can like here in San Antonio and try not to tear anything down if we can help it. Coming up on the right, you'll see tourists in their natural habitat. This is where you got on the boat. We're just about at the end of the tour. You got on the boat on the right side. I haven't let you off on the left. But make sure you take a look around your seats. Make sure you haven't forgotten anything. Oh, we had a great time on the tour. Just so you know, tipping is allowed. It's accepted. It's greatly appreciated by our drivers. We also accept cash in. Venmo. That's more convenient. There's stickers on the tip box. I'm going to dock the boat here.